Hey Danny, how you doing? Sorry for calling unannounced again. I'm doing some research, and I'm hoping you might be able to help me out. I'm doing this particular topic. I'm hoping you might be able to point me in the right direction. It's I'm gonna call it out to you, and you. I'm just gonna read it
It's a good thing
out.
it's a good thing I'm a good dancer. Carry on.
Design lineage, data lineage, and semantic lineage. And because there was a lineage in the title and semantic lineage, I was like, Danny would probably dig me out of a hole here. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, lots of thoughts. All very, very important topics. Things that are super important. Not just for.
I should
Uh,
stop you, by the way. It's about database migrations, so we can narrow it right down.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, but it's not just an important topic for database migrations. It's a very important topic for database migrations, but it's the real important topic is your organization's trust and faith in the data that you have. And the last thing you want from a database migration is to take data that was trusted by your business and make some mistakes, miss something, and have it turn into, let's say, high performing data that's not trusted by your business. Because again, it doesn't really matter how well it's performing. If they're not using it, then you're probably wasting time and money. A couple of things there. Design lineage. Design lineage generally talks about, the sort of business requirement moves to actual deployed database. And it's very important to understand that, because if what you're deploying is drifting away from what you understand of what the business requires, then again you're building problems in, and you're creating things to fix. You're creating problems for a system that probably doesn't need it. So understanding that sort of, and I'll use fairly common data modeling terms here, logical to physical transition. Logical being, what is it that this data should be doing for the business, and how should we be managing it to accomplish that, and making sure that you're not losing that essence just because it's easier to do something this way in Oracle or easier to do something that way in SQL Server. And then again, take it another step removed, where you've deployed it in Oracle, but you're now deploying it in Postgres. Losing that essence is a death knell for trust in data and a successful migration, because now you're going to have to go back and do a lot of rework. Rework is always much more expensive. So you want to definitely make sure that you can stay true back to the original design. If that design needs to change as part of the migration, or something's happened in the business, then you want to build on that.
Gosh, I
But
thought I thought that actually meant about design documenting design decisions. So you're actually you're
well, you're
I was
taking.
in a different direction.
No, no,
I should be in modeling.
well, but your direction's not incorrect, as well, because yes, over time, a database will change based on changing requirements, new requirements, all sorts of different things that are happening in the dynamic business world. So you absolutely, part of a design lineage would be managing the life cycle of changes to that database over time, because again, it may not be fully formed, or it may have changed. And again, data modeling is going to be very, very helpful for that. If you've been using your data modeling tool correctly, every new requirement, every new change to the database through its life cycle should be captured and deployed through the model, which means now I can capture in the different versions and document with those versions what changes were made, when they were made, by who, and why. Right? And that's a key piece of the data modeling process. So having that codified, captured, so that if Charlie, Sue, or Billy Bob have moved on to their next opportunity, that tribal knowledge isn't lost. So yes, design lineage goes both from a business to technical implementation, so logical to physical. It also talks about how that design has changed over time, what the impact of that was, and why. And all of that is very, very well handled, documented, captured, and automated, made much easier to use, analyze, and understand in a data modeling tool.
You are you talking about the happy path? Let me qualify this by: are you talking about like in an ideal world, people do this? You know, it's fully documented within the data model. But my question to you is, what if an organization, not saying any organization does this, what if an organization was super lazy and just did the bare minimum to deploy to release an application. You know, the bare minimum, and they don't exactly have this, but then now they're migrating. What like do they have any recourse? Do they have to do this? Do they have to document everything now, or is there any way around it?
Well, yeah, in this case, unless you've got some other change management system or some other requirements management system that you're using, and generally, if they're not using a data modeling tool, they're probably not using good tools in those other areas. They all work very well together. So yeah, you pretty much lost your design lineage at that
Okay.
point if you haven't been doing this type of work. And great example, massive financial institution that everybody would know refuses to allow data to be deployed anywhere in their organization without a data model. And it's for that very reason, many years and many wasted dollars just trying to keep things on track because they weren't doing the hard work up front and they were paying 3 times, 10 times, 100 times as much downstream
Downstream. Okay.
to do the rework, right?
So let's. What would you say to the organization where they've suffered? You know, I'm not. I'm being hesitant with how I describe this. I'm going to call it the lazy mode. What do you say to an organization at this point? Just kind of look, we get it. We're suffering the pain now. What would you tell me? What would you tell them to do? What would you tell them to do?
I would say there's no time no time like the present to start looking at data modeling. The first step that you can do and give yourself a head start is reverse engineer everything you have using a data modeling tool, which is going to give you that foundation, put it into that environment, and allow you to start building that rigor today. But the reality is that what costs you $1 in design costs you $1,000 once deployed to fix.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
And
No, I
that's
got it.
just a given. And that's always been that way. It doesn't matter whether we're on premise in the cloud,
Sorry, did you
big
say a
data, little
dollar in
data.
design or $10 in design? I just want to know the scale. Are we?
A,
Are we?
$1 in design. Go look.
Okay.
Go speak to Carnegie Mellon University. They've done exhaustive studies on this. But
All
it's a
right. Okay.
dollar in design to $1,000 in deployment. And again, it can be much more. Now we still haven't got to data lineage and semantic
No,
lineage.
but I was going. No. You can just point me in the right direction here. You've given me loads here to be
Well,
able
no.
to.
I think there's more I can give you
Okay.
because again, if you don't have clear data lineage where your data is coming from, again, that can impact the migration because not only are you going to have to change the database and now we've deployed it somewhere else, well, there may be data movement, data integration tools, ETL, ELT tools that are all working on this. And again, you can break all that, and it's really expensive to fix. And all it takes is something being broken and not necessarily noticed out of the gate. Where again, you're putting poison into this new system, and you're setting it up for failure before you even start, right? So these things are key. And again, you can do this manually. You can go and try to figure out, or if you're doing things correctly, you can maintain data intelligence about all of your databases, how it supports the business, and that data intelligence can give you a clear view into data lineage, how data flows from one system to another and gets to the endpoint of impact within the business. Super important. But semantic lineage, equally important, because semantic lineage is talking about this field that may be called XYZ352 in a database actually ties back to net sales, without something taken out of it or whatever that description is, going right down to governance, right? Because again, I'm assuming if you have some data governance in place, that you would like that data governance to still be in place after the migration.
Yeah.
And being able to track that semantic lineage to know what part of the business what part of the business that data relates to, even though it's sitting down in a very technical place in an Oracle database, that we understand that, so that we can put that back in, whether it's sensitive data, whether it's association with different regulatory compliance. You want that to be easily understood, and you don't want to lose that protection, that risk mitigation that you've built in, what policies apply to it, all of those good things. All of that will come from maintaining a semantic lineage that says, here is data from a business perspective, and it has these policies, these rules, all these good things about it, and it all connects down to these different pieces of data in different databases all over the place. That's how governance really works effectively, is if you can have that view, if you can maintain that view. In a migration, the key to that is to understand what needs to be there once you get through this migration. Because again, if you start slicing off all of that, you're causing yourself all sorts of problems, and you're dooming that migration to failure.
Okay, cool. So if this was a completely isolated database, which these things are rarely are.
No
Yeah.
such thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right, exactly. Then you certainly do need to have all that lineage that we talked about.
If you don't know where you've been, then how can you
Yeah.
plan where you're going?
Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, you've given me loads of material. Thank you so much. You give me loads of material.
Still got some more. Okay, I'll let you go. I know you've got to get on to.
I gotta pretend I know what I'm talking about.
I know you got a bowl of Irish stew waiting for you, so you carry on.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. Bye.